Hello friends, welcome to my online prep. In this video, we'll be doing the 12th chapter from our module B. This is the last chapter of module B, Bills of Exchange. Let's start. The agenda for this would include instruments of credit, which would be bills of exchange, promissory notes, and check. And we'll also discuss the difference between all these. Then, term and due date of bill, terms of reference, accounting treatment of these instruments, then accommodation bill, and last but not least, bill books. Okay? First up, we have instruments of credit. We all know that in a typical business environment, most of the transactions are done on credit. Whenever we'll purchase something for our organization, mostly raw materials, which become a part of our stock, it is mostly acquired on credit. The person to whom we owe this money is known as creditors. Similarly, when we sell the finished goods, most of it is sold on credit. These people are known as debtors. Similarly, if we consider a banker or a financial institution, they also give credit to its customers. And you are aware of this, right? But what is the proof of the existence of this credit? This is where certain instruments of credit comes into play. A few of them, which we are going to discuss here, are bills of exchange, promissory notes, and checks. Let's take this one by one. First, bills of exchange. Listen to this very carefully. It's an unconditional order in writing to pay a certain sum of money only to a person who is named in the instrument or to his bearer on a certain fixed future date or on demand. Here, in this situation, we need to understand the role of three important people. First, the person who draws or makes the bill. He is known as the drawer. Then the person to whom the bill is drawn, who is known as the drawee. And the person who will eventually receive the money, and he is known as the payee. So, three different people: drawer, drawee, and payee. Now I know you are wondering, can drawer and payee be the same person? Yes, it's totally possible. For example, X sells goods to Y on credit. For this, X draws a bill which Y accepts. So X is the drawer here and Y is the drawee. And in this case, X is the payee also, because he will eventually receive the money. But suppose if there was another person, Z, who was the ultimate receiver of the money because of some reason. Maybe X has endorsed it to him or anything, which we'll discuss later on. In that case, Z would be the payee. So, drawer and payee could be the same person or different person, right? Okay. Next, promissory notes. This is a written promise from a buyer or a borrower to pay a certain sum of money to the creditor or his order. It is what we call I owe you, which means I owe you. I owe you a certain amount of money. That is an acknowledgement of debt and an obligation to repay. Here there are only two parties: maker, who makes the note and promises to pay, and payee, same like bills of exchange, is the one who will receive the money. Alright? Now, what's the difference between the two? Let's take it one by one. On one hand, bills are an unconditional order to pay, whereas promissory notes are an unconditional promise to pay. There are three parties involved in bills of exchange: drawer, drawee, and payee. Whereas there are only two parties involved in promissory notes: maker and payee. Bills of exchange is drawn by a drawer who is actually a creditor who will receive the money, right?